Hello, everyone. This is Secret Sauce ASMR. And today, I wanted to wish you all a very happy new year. I also wanted to talk a little bit about this channel and what you can expect from this new year and me. And I will say something I think is incredibly fortunate is that I managed to get my debut year on the same year that both Christmas and New Year's are on Monday. I mean, I guess technically New Year's 2024 is on Monday. But still, it's very impressive in my opinion. I really decided to start uploading things on Mondays and then just pick the most fortunate time. Get to celebrate all the things. But anyways, so I will forewarn you all. I do have an idea of what I want to say, but I don't have a script in front of me. I'm trying to find. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, my poor phone just alerted me that it was dying. We'll keep this in. Why not? Right. So, New Year's. What can you expect to see from me in 2024? So first I'll go over the most the biggest change, the most easily apparent. I am changing my character art that I use. I've wanted to for a while, but simply put, I was worried in the beginning, because I was a bit worried what would happen was, I wanted to make things simple when I started out, for context, because I have a really bad tendency to start projects and then realize how big they are in scope and then not want to finish them anymore. And I'm sure plenty of you also have that issue, but it meant that if I were to say make custom art, draw each person from scratch, that would be a lot of work if I had a lot of characters. So I decided I wouldn't do that, and I decided instead to create one base, like mannequin, and then, add hair, eyes, clothing, etc. to them. And I think that worked really well, and I was worried for a time to change it, because I was worried what would happen is I would change it and then I would feel really overwhelmed by the amount of work I'd have to do. And especially because I was a little bit worried what might happen was I would change the character art for one character, let's say, I didn't like their particular design, so I put them on a custom mannequin, and then I just want to do it for everyone. So then everyone would have their own custom portraits. It would be a big deal. So it's been a bit of a journey trying to get this change, but I decided I wanted to, and so I did. And so these new designs, if you kept up for a while on my community posts. You probably saw them. There's 3 different variants, and I'd always wanted to do this. It was my intention at the very beginning of this channel that I would do exclusively giant audios and tiny audios. That is to say, I'd do exclusively audios with very big people and very small people as the people I was portraying. And of course that changed when I introduced the Catboy, because his first audio was the same size hypnosis audio. And that was that. But I'd always wanted to do 2 different variants of thumbnail art. One for if a character was much larger than you, and one for if a character was much smaller. But I never got around to making a design I liked with the smaller characters, so... And that worked out fine. I never made a character who was smaller than the listener. But now that I'm going to the new year, I want to do that. So now I have 3 variants. One for giant, which is very similar in appearance to the one we already have. Kind of at that slight angle, kind of looking down upon you. Then we have medium, or for characters that I like that the same size as the listener. And then of course you have the small variant. And I've gotten some really great feedback on it, I'm not going to lie. When I posted them originally, I wasn't quite sure if I liked them. I did mostly. But I got some really great feedback, and I really appreciate it. If you are someone who provided feedback, thank you, genuinely. I know a few people didn't really like the change, but I think it's going to be for the better. It's something, one of those things where I do this for my own enjoyment, so as long as I'm enjoying myself, then that's what I'm doing. But I digress. So character art is a thing that will be changing. And it will be, I think, 3 times the work, technically. Because, for example, let's say I do an audio with a friendly mage who's bigger than you. He'll have one thumbnail. And then when I do another one that has him as the same size as you, that'll be another thumbnail art. Same character, slightly different art. So I will have to draw him 3 different times if I want to have him be at all the sizes. But I think that's fine personally. Especially because, if I don't need a character to be a specific size, for example, if I'm doing like a one-off character, then I can just do them at the one size and I don't have to draw them all 3 times. But yes, that is something that hopefully you all enjoy. Should slow down my speaking. I get really into it and I start talking very fast. I do apologize. Next, just kind of rolling off character art, I'll go ahead and talk about characters. So, I do want to make new characters. I'd like to expand my current cast. And part of that is because I feel like I've kind of gone in a fairly fantastical direction with my characters. There's the literal giant character who kind of lives out in the woods. He's not necessarily unaware of civilization, he just actively avoids it for the sake of everyone else. There's the Catboy, who I think is the closest thing I have to a non-fantastical individual. But even he has his things, especially when, you are tiny, of course. That is by magical means. I don't usually go the science route. I might expand on that in a little bit, but generally I just think that the science route is fun, but a bit limiting at times. But he is a Catboy, and he's the closest thing I have to non-fantastical, which I think is saying something. And then, of course, there's the Chill Mage, who's a mage. And I've tried to go in as casual a direction with magic as possible. I don't want to have too much going on with it. But, and then of course there's all the background characters or side characters I have. Commission characters, obviously I don't consider them as mine. I don't do anything with them. Because, it's a bit like, in my opinion, if someone asked me to draw their character, I wouldn't say, cool, this is my character now. I may be playing a role for someone that, maybe I'm not necessarily playing their character, quote unquote, but I am playing a person of their design. So I don't tend to use their commissioned characters for that reason. Now, if you do commission me and you want me to, potentially make the character into a person I use more often, you're welcome to ask me to. You're welcome to say that I'm allowed to. But that's my general rule, is I don't tend to use characters I use commissions. But when it comes to the characters that I use outside of commissions, that are kind of the background characters, that's the Bone Worm, the Bog Mage, the Curious Naga, and I would like to do something with them at some point. I'm not sure if they'll make an appearance necessarily this year. They might not, I don't know. Who knows, maybe they'll appear for another holiday series of some form. If you would like to see them, if you'd like to see any of my characters that I don't use that often, and you'd like to see them featured back on the channel, please do let me know. Part of the reason why I don't use certain characters very much is because I simply don't know how well they'll be received. The Curious Naga is a kind of funny case because I used a vaguely British accent for him, and I use that term because I know there are numerous different accents, and I think the word I'm looking for is dialects, kind of in that, general UK region. And I am both geographically challenged and also American. So I don't have any first-hand experience with it. Outside of maybe brief interactions I've had with people who have moved here from that general region. Even in my online circles, I don't really speak to anyone that regularly who's not American, honestly. I don't know how I've managed that, frankly. My sleep schedule is very European. Anyways, I digress. But with certain character voices, such as the Curious Naga, which is what I was getting at, I've kind of forgotten how to do them a little bit. So if you do say, I would love to see this character again, and you hear them and you go, that's not what I remember them sounding like, I know. I've just forgotten how to voice them. And I think that's especially funny because you can, I think, if you go back and you listen to the first few audios I make of each character, and then you listen to the latest few audios I've made, they sound completely different, I'm sure. I think maybe the closest one I have is the Catboy. But even he, I never know where exactly he sets in my vocal range. But I know his general tone, though, so it works out. But I would like to make my general cast size larger and kind of expand the stories I can tell. I've already recorded quite a few audios actually for the new year. I don't know what happened. One night I just felt inspired and started recording, and I didn't stop for 3 hours. That's an over-exaggeration. I think it's probably more like 2 at the maximum. But needless to say, Um, I have many audios now, just waiting to be uploaded, so we'll see how that goes. Pardon me. I won't bother cutting that because I'm sure someone enjoys the vague sounds of my stomach. I know that's why some of you are here. But, yes. I'm eager to tell new stories and expand what exactly I do on this channel. Because, one of the big things for me is I don't want to stagnate. I don't want to say, oh, well, friendly giant muttering about something and petting your head. That's what sells. And then I make like 15 audios of that. Because I know that it could be very easy to do that. And I noticed in the past, sometimes when I feel less inspired, I kind of just fall into the same thing over and over again. And it actually quite annoys me when I have multiple audios in a row where the vocal triggers are just, or like the audio triggers are just soft speaking. Makes me kind of sit there and go, well, why didn't I do something more? Maybe I could have added tapping on something, or scratching on something, or drawing, or, water sounds, something. And you might be able to tell sometimes that happens and I just add a random ambience. I'll be like, oh, and in this audio it's raining. In this audio it's windy. In this audio you happen to be outside or something. And I think with that in mind, I think anyone who goes back and looks at some of my audios and catches the random ambiences will be like, he was feeling uninspired, wasn't he? And the answer is yes. But that being said, I really want to, I want to take what I've done this year and expand upon it. So, new cast, maybe some old returning cast if you lovely people ask for it. And of course I will be bringing back, the main three. I do have, I think, at least one mage audio already recorded. Their friendly giant, I found, unfortunately, I have a great deal of trouble doing his voice at times because he sits in my very lowest vocal register, or the very lowest part of it at least, and it's very growly. So like what I'm talking at right now, this is about the most comfortable part of my low vocal register I have. And so when I do the friendly giant, I either have to do him in the early morning while my voice is still naturally lower, or, or whenever I wake up, or I have to make sure to set aside time to really train my voice back down a little bit. So, and if I'm sick, or I don't know if there's anything causing me, like allergies or a stuffy nose or anything like that, that inhibits my vocal range, I can't do him at all. And I think there was one audio I had to artificially pitch him down just a little bit. I think a few people commented on it. Maybe it was just one or two. But I was like, I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh, doggone it. People noticed that I couldn't do his voice, which is fine. At the end of the day, I uploaded it. So I don't, it was an audio that I was proud enough of to upload even despite its deficiencies. I don't know. But yes, I'm getting off topic again. Quite tired. I woke up and I couldn't fall back asleep, so here we are. But yes, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a good deal of fun to make new characters, and perhaps I will do some polls to see what you guys would like to see. I do recall I made a poll a while back asking if you guys would prefer that, if you would prefer, what was it? I want to say it's if you would prefer for to be a giant being seen for the first time, or like seeing someone for the first time, or being a borrower. And I both got a fair amount of votes, so I do still intend to do both of those. I actually recorded one, and then I don't know what happened to it. I really enjoyed it at the time, and then I went to listen back to it, and the audio sounded horrendous. I don't know, maybe it was corrupted or something. I have no idea what happened to it, but it was like audibly warbling, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe I did some noise reduction and accidentally caught part of my vocals, so it kept clipping off. But oh well, it's too late now. But it'll be done. I also, of course, will say, I don't think I mentioned it, I don't know if I did, I do want to make some tiny characters, obviously. Now that I'm making characters of smaller people, I would like to do that as well. Have some characters that are tiny, not just characters who, get shrunk, or maybe you grow or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. Rightio. So, with that out of the way, yes, I would like to do some more characters. I'd like to expand upon that. And I might make a poll or something to see what you guys would like to see character-wise. Maybe I'll do a couple that I've had in mind and see what you all are interested in. Maybe I'll do a poll for returning characters, who knows. But if you have any ideas, any preferences, if you'd like to see a certain archetype or something like that, my comment section is always open. And let's talk about that for a second. Requests. So, as you might know, hopefully you do, I don't make an effort to advertise it that much, but I don't make an effort to hide it either. I do commissions. I have a Ko-Fi page, or Ko-Fi page. I say it Ko-Fi because that's what I think it's supposed to be pronounced, but also part of their thing is buying people a coffee, so I have no idea if it's coffee or Ko-Fi. But, I digress. I do commissions. They're a bit steep in price, I think. I think the cheapest is $5. I might be wrong on that, but I think it's only $5. And it's like a 5-minute audio from your preferred character, or from me, if you would prefer that. And it's basically just affirmations. If you have something you're going through, if you just need someone to comfort you for a bit, then I'm happy to do that. And then from there, it gets to be, I think, $15 for a 10-minute audio, or, what is it? 25, I think, for a 15-minute audio? It's been a while since I've looked at the exact prices, which is really embarrassing because I literally was just working on them recently and I neglected to check the prices. I digress. But yes, I do have commissions. I do greatly enjoy getting to do commissions for people, but I also recognize that not everyone can afford that, because it's, if you get my most expensive commission with all the add-ons, that's like $30. So I know not everyone probably can afford that, or really wants to afford that. That's perfectly fine, don't get me wrong. Whatever your reasons for not getting a commission, if you don't get a commission, I think that's valid. If you do get a commission, I really appreciate it, for my sake and for everyone else's, I do also accept, I am open to suggestions and requests. So let's talk about that for a minute. When it comes to requests, I still want to do them for 2024. When it comes to what I generally accept, and keep in mind this is kind of a general rule, but you're welcome to do whatever you'd like. My general rule is that when it comes to requests, I will accept any requests. I just might not do them, or I might not do them for a long time. So if you have an idea you really want to get down, commissioning is probably the best option because you can be very specific with it, and you can guarantee that as long as I'm okay doing it, I will have it done within a specific amount of time, and to your standards, not mine. But for example, if you just have a concept, a general idea, a request is perfectly fine. And chances are I already have an idea for that kind of audio. There's not even a recorded recently, actually. I forget what it was. Oh, it was the Friendly Giant. Wait, I haven't posted that, have I? No, I have. Okay. I had to make sure I didn't just announce this to you. Sleeping on a giant stomach or relaxing on it. The one I uploaded directly before Christmas. Someone had requested it and I'd forgotten. Literally, I woke up day of Monday, 2 weeks ago, and my stomach was just growling. It didn't stop. It was very loud. And I thought, well, goodness, I don't know if you can hear it right now. It is growling up a storm. But I thought, well, if I'm going to have like my stomach be growling, I might as well do something with it. So I recorded it. And then I remembered, yes, someone actually requested this. And so if that gives you any idea of how often, it's not, I guess, very often, but there are times where I record something without even realizing it was a request. And then sometimes, if I don't have an audio planned, I will look at my requests list. It is a massive Word document, and it has all the requests and ideas. And when it's specifically a request, I take a screenshot of the comment in question. That way I can go and find it again. So I can give people credit where it's due. Because a lot of the time, requests can be things that I wouldn't have done if I hadn't been asked to. In the sense that I wouldn't have considered to do it at that point in time. I probably would have done it eventually, because it's a matter of getting inspired to do it. But anyways, so coming into 2024, if you have a request for me for a specific, character archetype, let's say, if you're like, oh, I want to see a mad scientist from you, that might be cool. Maybe like there's a mad scientist and you are his like assistant or whatever. You're welcome to do that. And if you have a general concept for, what if one of your characters finds a tiny person and they're cold, so they, warm them up, or they're hot, so they cool them down, or whatnot. You're more than welcome to ask and request it. I very much want to do more requests because I feel like I've been kind of lacking in that regard. Through no fault of your lovely people's requests. I just tend to forget about it, actually. I'll be like, ugh, what am I going to do this week? And then I completely ignore the list of things that people have suggested. So, anyways, yes. Also on the subject of paying to receive benefits. It's a weird way of wording that. I am thinking about that because I think it's a bit not necessarily unreasonable, but I think it might be a bit. I updated my commission prices because I felt that that's what I deserved. And if you disagree, that's fine. But I am the one who makes the content, so I get to change my prices as I please. But I made my commission prices higher because I felt that I deserved it for the time I put into them. But I also realized that not everyone has that kind of money to support me. So I want to do something that will allow people to support me with less money. So I have been trying to think of things that would perhaps allow people to have a benefit, but also not, how do I word it? Not make it exclusive. Because one of the big things, I've always had this as a value, even when I first started my channel, like from the moment I conceptualized the channel, I knew that there may come a day where I wanted to monetize things, make money off of it. That's the dream, right? You start a YouTube channel and the dream is to be able to make money off of it. But I always knew that I didn't want to make it exclusive to people. I always it frustrates me at times when other ASM artists will take like half of their video and upload it and save the other half. And I realize that's usually because the other half tends to contain content that might not be acceptable for YouTube. So I guess I do appreciate not being jump scared by that. But I think that general model is not something I want to go with. Because the last thing I want to do is have someone listening to my audios and either, there's a series and then episodes 1 through 4 of this series are on my channel, and then episode 5 is exclusive to paying people. Or, certain of my audios are cut short in the middle of them so that they can, you feel incentivized. I don't want to do that to people. Because I don't want people to feel like they have to pay me to receive my content. I want my content to be available to everybody because, I started this channel because I wanted to see more of the stuff that I enjoy, in a relaxing sense, I found that I could either find something relaxing or something I enjoy, with these specific interests that I featured on my channel. So I'm thinking what I might do is either, kind of an and or situation. I have 2 ideas and I'd love to know your opinions, and I might make a poll about this as well. My first thought was, goodness, my first thought was perhaps allowing people to vote on like 1 audio a month. Very cheap, like let's say like $1 a month. And you can answer 4 polls that are exclusive to you. And it basically asks, what character would you like to see? What themes would you like to see? What triggers would you like to see? And finally, like maybe like maybe what size would you like to see? Something like that. And people could vote for it, again, for a very, very, very low price. Because I think that if you're voting on something, then, you shouldn't be forced to pay that much for it, at least for me specifically. But me and my content, I should say. But, you pay a very low price and you get to vote for aspects of an upcoming audio. And so that way, every, once a month, the community that is supporting me directly gets to help define an audio. Like, oh, well, we want the friendly cat boy to be tiny, and the premise is that he's going to the store in your pocket, and it involves like eating sounds because he found a Dorito in your pocket or something. I don't know. And then I do an audio based on that. So that's my first idea, and if you like that, please let me know. I think it'd be like kind of a simple way to let people help influence the audios I make without making it too restricting, not like, oh, well, everyone gets to like give me basically a commission. I'll pick one every month. But also, the other idea I had was making like once a month, again, for a very low price, because I don't think it's really worth that much. You can do it for free if you know how. But that being said, I thought maybe making like a file with all of my MP3s on it, so you can listen to all my videos offline. You can transfer them onto your phone, so you can listen to them while going to work or while working. And basically like you pay like maybe $1, maybe $5 at maximum. It really wouldn't be expensive, I don't think. And you can have access to that month's audios. And maybe if you pay like slightly more, like maybe like, maybe I'd make it a purchasable thing on my Ko-Fi. I'd say, for $10 you can get all the MP3s I've made thus far. So that's a possibility. And if you like that idea, again, by no means, you can, I'm not going to say I necessarily condone it, but if you want to find other ways of accessing my files offline, that's fine. I'm not going to complain. We all have stuff we spend our money on, and if this isn't one of them, that's fine. But, yes, those are some ideas I had that I thought would kind of let people support me without feeling obligated to. People wouldn't, I feel like that way people wouldn't feel like they had to support me to receive my content. Again, there's no exclusive videos, there's no previews, and then you can get the full one over on this site or that site. Very much just, if you want to support me, I'll give you a little bonus. You can have a cookie. And if you don't, you're not going to miss out on anything. That's my big thing. I don't want people to miss out. Because this is an interest that I have. These audios I make are all an interests I have. And I want people who have those interests as well to be able to relax and enjoy them with me. So, let's see. Okay, last thing, and then I'll call it. I know this is quite a long audio, but to be fair, I don't really get to talk to you guys that much, do I? And that's of my own decision. This isn't like a... If I wanted to, I could do weekly uploads. You guys can't stop me. Sorry. But, yes. I don't really get to talk to you guys that much. So when I do, I wanted to say everything. But, the last thing I think I'll talk about... Watch, I'll remember something else I wanted to talk about, and this will continue for the next 5 hours. But I also wanted to briefly mention upload schedule, because I think it's worth mentioning. So I had considered increasing the amount of videos I uploaded, possibly to 2 videos a week. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I had considered it, and as much as I think that would be fun, I think it would put an unnecessary amount of stress on me. So basically what I'm getting at here is my upload schedule is going to be the same. But just to kind of present the numbers for anyone who might not... I might be curious, kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. Not necessarily, I don't think anyone's going to be mad. That's what I'm getting at here. I don't want to... this isn't damage control. This is just for your own interest. So, because you guys are really nice, actually. I'll talk about that maybe in a minute. But, I was thinking about it. And if, as it is, I upload about, if I don't upload any extra videos, that's 48 videos a year, roughly, 12 months in a year, 4 weeks in a month, that's 48. And I upload 1 audio a week, so 48 audios. Plus any extra audios, for example, if I do commissions, obviously. And sometimes I'll make an audio or 2 that I just don't feel is quite up to my standards. Or, it's a bit out there. Like, for example, if I do an audio with a new theme, or, a new character who I really don't know how they'll go over, I might tack that on as an extra audio in a week, rather than make it its own week, because I do, generally speaking, I think I kind of messed up a bit near the end of this year. Well, last year, I guess. But I think that, generally speaking, I try to make sure that everyone has an audio every week that they'll enjoy. But yeah, so, let's say that maybe, like, I do 1 extra video every month. Then that goes from 48 to 60 audios. And, all my audios are at least 10 minutes long. So that's 600 plus minutes. It's a lot of time. I mean, I realize that's only... I might be getting my math wrong. It's very late right now. Well, it's very early, actually. I fell asleep around 9, maybe 10. And I woke up at 2. So, I'm running on very little sleep right now. But I'll get some sleep when I do finish this video. But yes, that being said, it's like almost half a day of nothing but audio recording. And of course, this I will... this is not including the amount of time I spend having to re-record. And especially when it comes to commissions, I record a lot. And, some audios go for even longer. I try, my general thing is at least 10 minutes, but I try to go for more like 15 or 20. And then, of course, there's all sorts of other details, editing, if there's ambience. I record all my sounds myself. And that's just a personal thing. I don't think it's, I think if you're starting out on a channel and you want to use, free use sounds, that's fine. I just don't, because I never quite know what the, crediting for them is. So I just don't bother. I just record everything myself. I mean, I have the equipment anyway, so I might as well, right? But yeah, so this to say, it's a lot of recording. And I figure that if I'm going to be even busier in 2024 than I was in 2023, I should probably not further increase my schedule, further fill it up with more audios I have to record. And, if I'm not as busy, maybe I will upload more. The ideal would be uploading like 2 videos or 3 videos every week. But I've also seen too many people mention how stressed they are and how they hurt their voices and stuff like that from how much they record. And how much they, have to really put on that grind. So I think that at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it pretty simple for now. And if that changes, you'll know, obviously. So, before I go, I do want to say, I peaked the mic a little bit, whoops. But before I go, I do want to say, thank you all so much for being so kind and supportive. Again, last year, I made this channel with kind of a one intention in mind, and that was to share my personal interests as someone who really enjoys extreme differences in size. I wanted to share that with people. And, I saw numerous videos online with, oh my goodness, I don't know if that's audible to you, but it was very audible to me. But anyways, I've seen videos online for like, tiny listeners or giant speakers, and a few reverse where it's a giant listener, or a tiny speaker, but those videos were always like pleasant surprises in a sea of, otherwise not, non-size related audios, So I wanted to make a channel kind of dedicated to that, and also dedicated to other aspects of it, but with the kind of express intent of doing it for relaxation's sake, because for me, I look at this and it's just something I enjoy, right? It's something that I myself have just about always found interest in. Ever since I was really, really young, I can look back and go, yes, this was me really enjoying size difference before I even really understood why I enjoyed it. Or that I did enjoy it, I was kind of fascinated by it. And then I grew up and was like, oh no, this is actually something that I genuinely find interesting. So that being said, I made this channel for myself, kind of. And people like me who wanted this kind of content and only found it once in a blue moon. It was one of those. I would sit there and watch the same audio over and over and over because it was the only one I could find. So I wanted to make, kind of, I guess, saturate the market a little bit. And maybe that's for the better, maybe it's not. Sometimes I do wonder, do I overdo it a bit? But I think as long as I'm having a good time, then it's worth it. And the fact that, again, in 1 year, not even that, because I technically started uploading, I think, a few months into the year. It wasn't even, starting on January. But I've received so much support, and I really do appreciate it, is what I'm getting at. And it's so kind, genuinely, seeing. It's nice, I guess. It's just really nice. It's nice getting comments. It's nice knowing that people enjoy this. Yeah, the amount of people who say, like, this came at a perfect time. I've been feeling really down and I really needed this. It's like, I'm just doing it because it's my usual upload schedule, and I just so happened to have made an audio that really resonated with someone. That makes me really happy. It's never necessarily intentional, but it always makes me glad knowing that I'm doing something that makes not just me happy. So, yeah, if you're awake, I hope you enjoyed. If you're not awake, good. Glad to know that you fell asleep. But yeah. I look forward to seeing what 2024 brings us. Hopefully this year, right? This is the year for everyone to thrive. And I hope you do thrive. And if you would like, if you're still here, please feel free to put your resolutions in the comments section if you'd so enjoy. Yeah, if you'd like to talk about anything that I mentioned in this video, you're more than welcome to. Characters, art, uploading, support and support rewards, any of that. And I will see you all later. I hope that you have a wonderful night or day, whatever time it is. And yes, I'm not sure when you'll hear from me specifically next, but yeah, have a wonderful night, everybody. Have a wonderful time.